Hi, fire signs. This is going to be a love general reading for fire, which is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So before I started the reading, what came to me was the movie 27 Dresses. I don't know if you've seen it. But what I realized right after that was some of you are really tired of waiting for that relationship. You're tired of waiting for it to go the way you want it to. You know, so you kind of have to get out of your own way. And you can't really interrupt free will, and you have to be realistic with yourself and be honest with yourself as well. Sometimes we create these illusions in our head that a relationship has to be a certain way. And that's okay if you feel it has to be that way, but you have to try to take in what the other person is feeling and where their doubts and insecurities come from, and go from there, and be honest with yourself and with them. And they may not want the same thing as you. Doesn't mean they don't want you, or can you accept that? Be honest with yourself. So I'm going to pull some cards for you guys. And this is love guidance. Okay. So the first card that came out is the Eight of Cups. And I feel like, I'm not sure if you can really, if you see the card, here she is leaning over this man who has gone through so much and been so hurt. And she wants something so desperately. She wants the cups. She wants fulfillment with this man. And she wants to help him. And that's beautiful. It's beautiful to want to give yourself in that way, but you have to make sure you're not forgetting about yourself. And you can want this with someone, and it doesn't mean that it won't come, because the cups are still there. The cups are still there, and the possibility is definitely still there, but your partner has been through a lot. And you have to be clear about what you want, and you have to be honest with yourself so that you can be honest with him. If you want certain things and he doesn't or she doesn't, go to yourself and be clear, write it down. Things become so clear when we write it down. This is why I want to be engaged. This is why I want to live together, or whatever it is. Don't limit yourself in what you want, but why are these things important to you? So that when you go to your partner, you can explain why this is what you require. Because you want to not just know, this is what I want. Because if you're speaking from the heart, and I know sometimes that's difficult, and you just want to say what you have to say, but when you're speaking from a place of vulnerability and the world needs more of that, that's helpful. And then the person can receive you differently. So I do definitely see and feel a lot of potential with this relationship. You just have to understand and understand, like go inside and process where you're coming from, so that you can explain it to them and they can process where you're coming from, and they can process with them. But you have to be patient. You have to be clear, but you have to be patient if you want it to work. But I do see a lot of potential. Okay, so the next card is the Prince of Cups. And you see He's standing outside. There's the cups are there. So it's a bit of a difficult time, either in your love life or within this relationship. And, you know, do you see the castle? Everyone's sleeping. He can't sleep. He's outside and the light is still on. And that's his room. A lot of restless nights, overthinking, pondering. This is why you have to be honest with yourself and be clear about what you want, because you don't need this, like, and you're honestly, you're coming out of it. You're coming out of this. So you may be still having a bit of a rough time. It may be a little difficult, but things are changing. Things are changing for you. Things are changing for your love life and for your relationship. I just keep hearing clarity. Like, you need to be clear with yourself so you can be clear with your partner and be honest and be vulnerable and give them a chance to respond. Please don't just expect, because you've laid it out there. You're doing this for you at the end of the day, because, you know, sometimes we feel like when we do step outside and we do show that vulnerability, we feel like it makes us weak or the person doesn't appreciate it. That's not necessarily the truth. Everyone processes and receives things differently. And if you're really not happy, you know, you need to go. You need to go, because if you're trying to work on a relationship and you're trying to have a new beginning, it's definitely coming, and it can be really beautiful. But if you walk away, you have a beautiful new beginning as well with someone else. So it's really up to you and what you want, because the last card out of the love deck is the Prince of Cups. And look at how great he is. Like, look at how he's just there, and beautiful background, and he's holding his cup. He's happy. I feel like some of you may be expecting, or a baby may be coming. Or it just could also mean a beautiful a rebirth of the relationship, a rebirth of your love life. But I also feel that energy from this card. I wanted to pull a healing card from my Doreen Virtue Angel Dreams for you guys. I think that the most important part of this reading is you need to make sure you're honoring you. You need to make sure you know what you want and you're clear and why you want it. It's not just for you to clarify it with them, but to clarify it with yourself and figure out what's really important to you. What are the things that you need and that you require to be happy? And if there's too much stagnation, it's too stagnant, like, step out of it. You don't have to stay with them, you know, or you can take a break. But I do feel like beautiful new beginnings, or, you know, a new person coming in. But I feel like mostly this is a rebirth of an old relationship or a current relationship as well. Stairs. And on the bottom of the card, it says direction and timing. So only you know the direction you want to go in. And you are headed in the right direction. I know you guys have been having a difficult time with love, and there's a lot of ups and downs, but divine timing is in this. Nothing before its time, you know, and you have to remember, people can only meet you as far as they've met themselves. So if they haven't recognized certain things in themselves, how do you expect them to see this just for you? And it doesn't mean that they don't love you. It's just that they don't have that recognition for themselves. So they're really, a lot of people are really working on their healing and being forced to work on it. So everything comes in divine timing, but you're headed in the right direction. Things are going into the right direction, and nothing before it's time, because sometimes we feel like we're ready for something or we want something because it's just like we're trying to fill something in us, and that's why I'm telling you to be clear with yourself and what you're writing down. Like, write down and read it to yourself and be clear with yourself what you want, because once you're clear with yourself, you'll know the direction you're going in, and it's going to come quick. It's going to come faster than you think. It's always about divine timing. Once again, nothing before its time. But beautiful new beginnings. And sometimes we see these cards and we get so caught up and feel like, oh, but that's, you know, look at how depressed that person looks in the card. Or it's really about the energy as well for me from the card. And yeah, I definitely feel and see the pain, but your perspective is everything. You guys are coming out of it, and great things are coming. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you'd like to book a personal, you can email me at meditatingcoach@gmail.com, and my Instagram is meditatingcoach. Have a beautiful rest of September, and I'll see you in October.